Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Freddy Fazbear box just dropped at Popeyes for $7.99, and it's scary good. Garlic palm tenders and cheesy bites with marinara sauce. Upgrade to the deluxe box for $12.99 and get a 20-ounce drink in a cupcake cup. Dig in before it's too late. Try the Freddy Fazbear Crunch menu, now at Popeyes. See Five Nights at Freddy's 2, only in theaters. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Prices may vary.
Sunday morning, the environment has lost. The consumer has lost. Well, what did the federal judge do again? And there's 670 federal judges in our country, and we can't have these people running the country. Well, with us today is Bonnie Brady, who's been working on the wind farms in Long Island and New Jersey. And Bonnie Brady, I mean, this seems to be a Massachusetts federal judge, and tell us what the heck happened. And we're talking about the windmills mostly, right?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, John, thank you so much for having me. Yes, a federal lawsuit that 17 states, including the great ocean state of Colorado and a couple of others, but New York was the lead state. This was done by Letitia James, sued in the federal court of Massachusetts, not that there's such a thing as called judge shopping, in order to fight against President Trump's presidential memorandum against offshore wind. And last week, Judge Patty Saris, who is a district court judge in Massachusetts, ruled in the state's favor, saying that the memorandum was, in legal terms, arbitrary and capricious because she felt it was not considering the facts or law. And what that means for those of us that work on the ocean providing food for America and the environment of the ocean itself, anyone that has a project that had been approved can go forward. And what that means for the ratepayers, not just those of us that are homeowners and paying bills out of an apartment, but any manufacturer, we're going to take it in the wallet to the extent of 4 to 6 times what costs are now. And I can explain that. The judge basically ruled saying that, oh no, the investments on wind projects, these states have suffered harm, that the project's delay reduced tax revenue for the states, and that in the example that was raised about Atlantic Shores, which was a Jersey project, oh no, New Jersey was going to get $2 billion in economic benefits, which is ludicrous. That's based on the President Biden's IRA money, where the gold bars were dumping off of the Titanic. That's how that money was raised, not through anything resembling savings as a result of these projects.
I mean, it's ruining the coast of Long Island. It's affecting the population of the whales. Tell us what else it's affecting, and tell people how much it's going to cost them in additional value in electricity.
Oh, well, I mean, as far as in the environment, you know, everything with the exception, they have a project in Empire Wind that's still been going forward, pile driving, jet plowing the ocean floor, laying it with thousands of miles of high volt cables. The case off of Long Island, off of Montauk, Sunrise Wind, that one includes something called an high voltage DC converter station with an open loop. They're using the ocean water to cool this thing by sucking up almost 8 million gallons of seawater daily, adding bleach through electrolysis, and then releasing it as 90-degree effluent into the water column. A similar type of cooling system has been disallowed by New York State on land for new builds. But in the ocean, hey, no one's going to scream. The fish can't scream, can they? Now, that doesn't include, obviously, all of the ability for commercial fishing throughout the Atlantic seaboard to land fresh seafood for Americans so they don't have to worry about eating farmed garbage that's filled with antibiotics and reduces tons of waste sludge into the ocean, or having imports where God knows where it's coming from. Russia, China, they don't have any regulations there. They don't care about sustainability. Thousands of American jobs will be lost right now. Meanwhile, the wind people are crying because, oh, well, we don't have these jobs. What about our jobs, John? What about all of the restaurants throughout the Atlantic that eat fresh seafood? What about all the fish buyers? Everything. There's a huge infrastructure providing food for America. You know,
well, I don't know if there's any relation. My doctor, my arsenic count was high, and my doctor asked me to stop eating seafood for 30 days for him to retake it of my arsenic count.
Right. Well,
so,
I mean, there's
between mercury and arsenic in seafood. If you eat a lot of seafood, if you haven't taken your arsenic and mercury count lately, please go to your doctor and ask to take it.
Well, John, I can tell you part of that. The problem is you've got a lot of imports where they don't have any regs, they don't have any rules. Only 10% of the imported fish that comes into this country is even checked by the FDA. And none of these countries outside of the U.S. have the same fisheries regulations to keep the stocks healthy, to keep the marine mammals healthy, and to make sure that the American public is getting a healthy product. And I guarantee you...
And what I was told by my doctor, you know what I was told about? Farm-raised salmon, if you eat it, you're in deep crap.
Literally. I mean, that's the whole point. This pink sludge, they close farms on the West Coast because of the amount of sludge coming out. These animals aren't supposed to be penned. They're not supposed to be sitting where they can't move. The whole process of having what Secretary Kennedy and the administration has talked about, you know, make America healthy again, involves eating wild-caught, sustainable seafood from the U.S., and that's going to go bye-bye if they keep pushing on offshore wind. And the amount, the billions of dollars that industry provides to our coastal communities from Maine all the way down to Florida isn't something to laugh at, but yet somehow this judge felt that the promise of future energy jobs meant more than the right now jobs that exist for hardworking Americans.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the other thing that's a quasi-fraud. I understand these windmills that's owned majority by the government of Norway, which is not supposed to be, or something like that.
Right.
I mean, maybe you could tell us more. But they start to break apart at the end of 5 or 10 years, and the taxpayer is still paying.
Yeah, well, Equinor, that's building the Empire Wind Project, is 67% owned by the Kingdom of Norway. So the King of Norway owns Empire, and yet here we are suing them in court, and they're trying to avoid saying that, oh no, we represent Norway, so we can't be served in any of our U.S. offices because you have to go through the Hague Convention. And why did they do that? Because they knew there'd be a longer delay. These folks are jumping through whatever hoop. It's ridiculous. And the reality is, the amount of money that they're going to cost is 4 to 6 times more. Because when you have offshore wind, they've got the agreements between the states, the purchase power agreements, it's $155 a megawatt hour compared to, I believe it's about 36 cents per megawatt hour. $36 per megawatt hour for natural gas, normal strike price on the grid when you're buying power. So when these folks are providing that power, they're getting paid, they're getting paid at like 5 times the amount. Plus that doesn't even include the transmission cables zigzagging across the ocean floor and piling in through neighborhoods, going in front of schools, in front of residential housing, all of it. They're going to tear up everything in order to make money for whom? The Kingdom of Denmark. Doesn't seem right to me.
That is horrible. Well, Bonnie
and that's
Brady.
John, just also
yes.
Manufacturers forget about just homeowners that are going to get hosed. Manufacturers, they had a situation a couple of years back, right before the Ukraine war, where suddenly the wind didn't blow, and the price that they had to pay for energy got to the point where several of the companies providing energy had to close because there was a cap, and all the manufacturers, their bills went from, an example, $3,000 a month to $30,000 a month. How are you supposed to run a small business like that?
You can't.
It's ridiculous. Exactly.
And Bonnie Brady, give us your Facebook site if people want to keep informed.
Well, they can go to my regular site on Bonnie Brady on Facebook. Also, I'm a board member of Protect Our Coast, New Jersey.com. They can go there and learn about our fights in the courts for Empire Wind specifically. Thank you so much.
Bonnie Brady, thank you for bringing us up to date, and keep your eyes open and keep our listeners at WABC letting them know what the heck is going on.
Well, let's put it this way, John. They can get together as states. We might have some folks that want to get together state by state and see what happens when we do. Thank you very much for having me. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to The Payne Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. You know, one of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. Mm-hmm. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.